Hello again, Jonathan Green here. As I mentioned at the start of today's proceedings, I'm an author of Gamebooks, as amongst other things, but I'm particularly focusing on my own ACE Gamebook series at the moment. They've been published since 2015 by Snow Books in the UK, and the first title in the series, which came out in 2015, is Alice's Nightmare in Wonderland. And this was published to coincide with the 150th anniversary of the publication of the original Alice. And this really sets out my stall for what I wanted to do with the series, in that the books are classics but given a dark twist, a reworking, a reimagining. So in this one it's a sort of sequel to the original, and you guide Alice as she goes through Wonderland, but she can fight back this time. And the other thing which the game introduced, because it's Alice, is playing cards. So as well as using dice, you can use playing cards instead, or a combination of both to play the game. After that was published, several people said, are you going to do a sequel? But Through the Looking Glass is already in Alice's Nightmare. So the second book was The Wicked Wizard of Oz. And this is, again, it's set after the original. Dorothy finds herself back in Oz and she has to find out why. But what makes this one different is you can play as any of the main characters from the book. So you can be Dorothy, the Tin Man, the Scarecrow and the Lion. But you can also play as the Wicked Witch of the West and the Wizard. And the information you need to do that can be downloaded from acegamebooks.com. The third title is Neverland Here Be Monsters, which is Peter Pan meets Jurassic Park or The Lost World. There's elements of King Kong in there as well, and Pirates of the Caribbean. So I like to say it's pirates versus dinosaurs versus the end of the world. And this, just like the first two books, was illustrated by Kev Crossley, and dinosaurs are really his thing. So as you can see from this fantastic cover, there we go, there's Kev's name at the bottom. He really went to town on this book, and the results are fantastic and amazing. And if you think you know Peter Pan, think again. The fourth title was a completely different approach. It was an Anglo-Saxon epic, reimagined as a game book, Beowulf Beastlayer. So in this one you can play, well, you play as Beowulf himself, and you can either follow the path set down in the original poem, although there'll still be some surprises for you, or you can forge your own legend. If you think you know how Beowulf ends, you may have a surprise when you play Beowulf Beastlayer. Oh, and I should mention that Russ Nicholson, who illustrated The Warlock of Fartop Mountain, the first Fighting Fantasy game book, amongst others, provided the illustrations for this one, which is incredible. And talking of Fighting Fantasy artists, this one was illustrated by Tony Huff, who has collaborated with me in the past a couple of times on Fighting Fantasy titles, and it's 'Twas the Krampus Night Before Christmas, which is based very loosely on Clement Clarke Moore's A Visit from St Nicholas, the poem which begins 'Twas the night before Christmas. There's also all sorts of legends and other literature linked to Christmas in there, and the idea is that you wake up on Christmas Eve to find that Krampus, the Christmas devil, has just abducted Santa Claus, and you have to save him. That's the books which are currently in print. I'm writing the sixth title at the moment, which is Dracula, Curse of the Vampire, and it's probably going to be the longest one yet, in that you can play as Jonathan Harker, Mina Murray, Dr. John Seward, or even Count Dracula himself, and that will be published spring 2021. So do check out the links below of how you can buy my books. You can get signed copies, and I provide bookmarks with them as well, which if you play as different characters has their stats on. And enjoy the rest of your day.